finally Christmas time. A time for family, old friends, and giving to those in need.
Thank you very much. And live from Gettysburg, it's Warrior Wire.
Good afternoon, Gettysburg. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jared Herr.
And I'm Yanni Tasso, and you're watching The Warrior Wire. Now, Jared, here we are, early December.
Yep.
Festivities have begun for the Christmas time.
They have.
You know, The Warrior Wire, we've got ourselves a tree.
We do.
And when we're on the topic of Christmas trees, I believe there's someone that we know who has a Christmas tree. It's pretty significant. You want to speak upon that?
Of course, yeah. So listen to this, Yanni. Our superintendent, Dr. Perrin, used to live in State College. And when he was there, he had a very large tree in his lawn that caught the eye of the person who picks out the annual Rockefeller Christmas tree, that huge one that you see in New York City. Always kind of a big start to the holiday season whenever you see that tree get lit. So this year, he donated his tree to be the one used in Rockefeller Center. And actually, we had him in studio earlier this week to talk about that experience and talk about starting here at Gettysburg. Let's take a look at that interview.
Dr. Perrin, thank you very much for coming down to our show today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me over.
All right, so let's get things started talking about your tree was the one used at Rockefeller Center this year. Is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome.
It was put up a couple weeks ago, and we lit it last Wednesday.
This is Lauren Smith reporting from New York City, and I am right under the Rockefeller Christmas tree, which once belonged to our superintendent, Dr. Perrin. Let's take a look.
How is your tree the one chosen for this, and how did it end up in New York City?
It started a long time ago, well, a number of years ago. I think it was September of 2010. A gentleman knocked on my door, and he had been driving by the house that I had in State College, and part of his job was to kind of scour the eastern seaboard looking for the Christmas tree each year. So he saw the tree in my backyard and asked if I'd be willing to donate it. And it was 2010. I told him possibly to let me know whenever he was sure. And then about once a year, he would email just to see if the tree was still there. And then May of this year, May of 2017, he stopped by and said that they wanted it for this fall, so I donated it to Rockefeller Center this year.
Awesome. And you were there in New York City that night, correct? That they lit it?
Yeah, we were there Wednesday. It was the 29th of November. They did the lighting, and there were a lot of different festivities going on there, so my extended family and I went up and enjoyed that.
Awesome, very cool. Now that we are about a few months into the school year, you just started as superintendent at the beginning of this school year. How are things going at Gettysburg, and how's the transition been for you?
I think the transition's been smooth from my perspective. I came to Gettysburg for various reasons, and for those reasons, I'm seeing those things kind of take shape. So it is what I thought it would be, and more to a degree. I think people have been very, very welcoming. What I've seen have been faculty, staff, students, community members even, very, very proud of their schools, and I think that everybody's proud of what we have, but at the same time would like to get a little bit better. And I think that that's what attracted me to the district, and I think that all the interactions I've had have been true to that.
What would you say has been your favorite part about being here in Gettysburg and being involved with the school district?
I think it's just the people. That's been true, I think, in any job I've ever had. You start to build relationships and trust with people the longer you're in one place. But I think whether it's being in a hallway and having an individual conversation with a student, or in a classroom, or even with teachers or administrative colleagues, or even some of the community groups that I've become active with, those are all really pleasant experiences, because you can see from the first couple of conversations that the folks really care about the schools, and the students have been great, and So everything's been extremely positive.
While we have you here, is there anything else you would like to say to the students, staff here at Gettysburg High School?
Thanks for welcoming me here. As a new superintendent, I hope that there'll be a number of years for us to spend together, and I hope that everybody in the entire organization has a healthy and happy new year and enjoys the holiday break.
Well, Dr. Perrin, thank you very much for coming in today. We are very lucky to have you here as superintendent, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Pleasure's mine. Thanks very much.
So another really cool thing about donating your tree to Rockefeller Center is that tree will now go to Habitat for Humanity to help build homes for people in need. So that's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is awesome. And another cool part is, Dr. Perrin, he got his own feature on the Today Show.
He did,
the hit show. He got his own feature about him and the growth of his tree, which I think is personally awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about Christmas, you talk the festivities that be. You have trees, you have Santa hats, you have snow. You also have singing. You have caroling.
Very true.
While we're on the topic of music, we have some district orchestra members to talk about, Jared.
Yeah.
Those being Mr. Ben Shearer, Mrs. Aya Soto, Leo Gublin McCaw, and Mary Carter. Congratulations to all of them. And I'm in orchestra with them. I wouldn't say I'm on a district level. You could probably give a chimpanzee a violin and he would create something similar to what I can do. But these four work very hard day in and day out, and they deserve all the credit that they're getting. So congratulations, guys.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you to all of you representing Gettysburg at the district level for orchestra. Something else that we have to talk about in athletics, it's been winter sports season is just getting started. We haven't had any sideline reports or anything like that. But something left over from this fall sports season is that our very own director, Benita Soliday, she was just named as the league MVP for the York Adams League, and also an all-state player for one of the 6 from the York Adams League. That's pretty cool.
That is awesome. It's really cool. Part of the Warrior Wire crew. We're represented well here, Jared. We really are. We've got a good team inside and out of just the show. You know what I mean? And it's really awesome to talk about.
Most definitely. And something else that happened this week, FBLA went to their regional conference. Let's talk about that, Yanni.
So FBLA, obviously a great program that here at Gettysburg, we tend to do well in. And I believe this year some history happened, Jared.
Really?
With a certain individual named Salvatore Pellerito. Have you heard of him?
I have, yes.
Right.
Yes.
I know him. We go back a couple years. He was actually the first ever to qualify for states 4 years in a row from Gettysburg High School.
Wow, that's something to be proud of.
We got to sit down and get an interview with him. Let's take a look. Salvatore Pellerito. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Quite the name. Thanks for being on the show, my friend.
My pleasure.
So, Sal, in the recent days, I've been made aware that you have reached a state level for your FBLA competition. And I've also been aware that you're the only young man to make it this 4 years in a row.
That's correct.
Speak upon that. What exactly is your event? How have you done this? Tell the people what they're doing.
This year I competed in advertising, and I got second in the region, which is pretty good for me. Last year I got second in business procedures. It's a different event every year. I thought advertising was a good choice because I'm really interested in that.
Right.
I think I'm going to pursue that after high school.
Now, you say it's a different career. Can you have to change what you're going to compete in?
Yes.
Or you make that decision, you have to change?
If you have to do a different event each year. You can't compete in the same thing.
So talking about the competition process, what exactly are you going to go compete? How are you competing with other individuals from other schools?
Well, actually, States is being held at the Hershey Lodge, where it is every year, and over 3,000 students come to compete in their different events. And we have different workshops there and guest speakers.
That's
It's
awesome.
fun. It's a great
So
time.
you've came in second, and out of how many people were competing in this competition?
There were 10.
10.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's still something impressive.
It's substantial.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Now, any ambitions you talk about, you want to go into a career in advertising, was it always that way, or FBLA has helped you come to this decision?
FBLA has definitely been an important factor of that decision.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've got Mrs. Sig, Mr. Wadle as sort of mentors up above there. Speak
Absolutely.
upon them. How have they helped you?
They have helped me a lot, actually. I would not be here today without them. You know, I come into the high school as a freshman. I had no idea what FBLA even was.
Right.
You know, but they welcomed me, and it was great for me.
So advertising. Now, speak to me on how you compete in this field. How are you competing to reach 2nd out of 10?
Well, it was an objective test, 100 questions on the computer, marketing, advertising, economic, sort of questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you study for a test like this, or is it more of a you wake up and they're just testing everything you've learned, your common knowledge?
Well, I prepared with the vocabulary.
Good for you.
That was it for me.
It pays off, boys and girls. Studying.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, Sal, thanks for being on the show. Congratulations, I may add. Thanks for coming, Sal.
Always a pleasure.
And so Sal had some great accomplishments at the regional conference, but also we're sending 13 people from Gettysburg FBLA to states, 13 qualifiers, and Ellie Delaney, Michael Mercer, and Sydney Kick each won their events at that regional competition. So congrats to all of you. Thanks for representing Gettysburg during FBLA.
And it really is cool, talk about the 13 individuals and the 3 who finished in first. Gettysburg, like we say, it represented well here at Gettysburg. We know what we're doing. Lucky
Most
13
definitely.
that we had to go to state.
Most definitely. All right, so Yanni, with that is our show for this week. So signing off, I'm Jared Herr.
And I'm Yanni Tasso. You guys are watching The Warrior Wire. We'll see you next time.
Thank